Hello everyone, so in today's video I kind of wanted to go over the Medicare Part D portion of the Inflation Reduction Act. This is probably the biggest, impact that Medicare Part D has had since its inception. And it's really going to help lower costs and at least make costs more predictable for people who are on the Medicare program. So let's go ahead and take a look at what they've got for us. Alright, as you can see here, 83% of adults think that the cost of prescription drugs is unreasonable. I would agree. 29% have said they had not taken medications directly because of cost, and this to me is very sad. I believe it's estimated that 30% of people who are on expensive cancer medications just don't pick it up because it's too expensive. 26% of adults say that it is very difficult for them to afford to pay for their prescription drugs. I have had clients who had to actually not pick up medication because at the time it was either between having food to eat and having the medication, and that is something that is unfortunately what happens in our country right now. With this bill, I hope that this kind of decision between drugs, life-saving medication and life-giving food doesn't have to be, a decision that you have to choose either or. So let's see how this bill or how the new Part D structure is going to look like. So this is a breakdown of what the Medicare Part D payment structures or where the money is coming from. And it's going to look kind of crazy, but just keep your eyes on the different colors. So the yellow portion, the yellow highlighted portion, is what you as the enrollee of the plan, the member of the plan, has to pay. Then we have the blue portion, and that's what the Part D plan or the insurance pays. Then we have the green, and that's what the drug manufacturers discount toward your plan or toward your medication. And then we have the dark blue, which is what Medicare pays. Okay, so currently the way that it's set up is we have the deductible stage where you pay 100% of the drug cost. Then we have the initial coverage stage. This is where you and the insurance company have some kind of a copay. You pay $5 for generic, $45 for a brand name, maybe 45% for non-preferred medications, and 25% for specialty medications. Then once this all the money that's put into this little area here reaches about $4,500, so your money, the insurance company's money, and your money from here, then you go into what's called the coverage gap. And currently, during the coverage gap, you pay 25% of the drug costs. The drug manufacturer actually discounts this medication by 70%, and your drug plan pays 5%. And when you reach this period here, this phase, you have what's called a true out-of-pocket spend before you reach the next phase. So remember, this one we had to spend $4,430 or so, and in this one we have to spend $7,050, and that's in 2022. 2023 it's actually $7,400, and it's projected to be $775 in 2024. But what we can show you here is that your actual out-of-pocket spending at this point is actually only about $3,100, and that's because that $7,400 is going to be a combination of what you have paid during this period, and this period, plus this green portion here of what the drug manufacturers have quote-unquote discounted. And then you reach the catastrophic phase currently in 2022 and 2023, where you pay 5%, and the Medicare program pays 80%, and then the Part D plan pays 15%. Now in 2024, it's going to change. It's going to get better. Each year is going to get better on this little timeline here. We're going to have the same first 3 stages during 2024, exactly the same. Everybody pays the same that they paid in 2023 and 2022. But once you've passed this threshold, you will be responsible for nothing. Medicare will still pay the 80, And the drug plan now will, instead of paying 15, will pay 20%. Okay? In 2025, your cap is now at 2,000. Okay, so how are they going to do that? Well, you still have a deductible, but now you will just have an initial coverage stage and then the cap. During the initial coverage stage, you will be responsible for 25%. This is estimated about 25%. Drug manufacturers will start discounting it here at 10%, and the drug plan, your insurance, will pay 65%. Now, once you've reached your out-of-pocket spending cap, your plan will continue to pay 60% of the drug cost. The drug manufacturers will discount 20%, and Medicare will pay 20% of these costs. So Medicare is going to get hopefully a better deal because they're going from 80 to paying 20. The drug plans, they'll have to pay more. This is going to be where I think Part D drug plans might get more expensive. But let's go and take a look at what the actual, provisions of this law show us. So currently, the timeline kind of goes, and how we're going to, I guess you could call it, afford all of these things, is Medicare is going to begin to start looking to negotiate on very expensive medications. The major amount of folks who actually reach what's called the catastrophic phase is just about 1 million beneficiaries, or at least that's what the data that I've seen. So that means that there's only about 1 million people who will be tapping the insurance companies toward that last stage, where the drug company is still paying for about 60% of the drug cost. What Medicare intends on doing is selecting the medications that are driving these costs specifically and negotiating them down to a maximum fair price. Now, how they reach this maximum fair price, we don't know yet. We don't know if it's going to work to save money, but it's going to have to, because this is how the law is going to be written. So even if the drug companies are losing massive amounts of money, they will have to, or the drug insurance companies losing a lot of money, they will have to keep your benefits capped in this manner. And I don't want to say that you're going to have to learn your plan lingo a little bit better, because they might try to quote unquote pull a fast one on you, but be sure to subscribe and keep my newsletters close by, and also my resources webpage, so you can look up how to contest formulary changes, because these Part D drug plans can actually change their formulary to no longer include some expensive medications partway through the year, and that's completely normal. It happens all the time because negotiated rates for medications are not a calendar contract. They're sometimes month by month, and also quantity by quantity. If there's more people who buy a certain drug, the drug company can negotiate a lower price. If there's less people now needing this medication, the drug price might go up, and thus your entire cost structure might change. But we're not worrying about that now. We worry about that when it happens. Just know that I will provide resources for my clients, and for everyone who's watching this video. You just have to go to my website, and there'll be all of that stuff in the coming months as I work to build this thing out. So they're gonna pick medications that are really expensive, and they're going to negotiate them down, hopefully. So that's how they're gonna attack the costs on the front end. Additionally, this is something that I really wanted to kind of get out there, is that all vaccines will be covered at no cost. So none of this, the flu vaccine is like $1.50 if you go to the pharmacy, or if you use your Part B coverage, because there's some co-insurance. Shingles vaccine is administered through Part D, so you sometimes have to pay through the deductible. None of that is all going to be covered at no cost. In addition, they are limiting the Plan D, or Part D, premium increase to 6%. So during the period of 2024 to 2030, the Part D premium growth can be no more than 6% per year. So that's going to help beneficiaries not get hit with the costs from drug companies or drug insurance companies. The last thing that is going to help is something that I really wished that they had put into legislation earlier. In 2003, unfortunately, for whatever reason, Congress made it illegal for Medicare to negotiate rates on medications, on drugs. Like I said, I don't know why, but that's what happened in 2003, so we can't change that, but we are, or at least with this bill they are. But they're capping the rate at which the drugs can be inflated. So medical inflation has been really low overall. In fact, Medicare has actually decreased some of the payments that they're giving to physicians now due to, budgetary constraints, and also the fact that doctors don't need this much reimbursement because we're out of the pandemic. I don't know what their exact words were, but I do know that a standard office visit is going down next year in regards to the amount of reimbursement that doctors can get, which is, it could be fair, it could be unfair. I'm not a physician, I don't know, but that's not really part of this debate here. What I'm talking about is the CPU is going to be used to make sure that drugs cannot be increased by more than that. So it's none of this, well, insulin's obviously going to cost more to make next year, so we're going to drive the price up 100%. None of that. None of the EpiPens, inflation, if $100 this year, let's make it $2,000 next year because, well, inflation. They can't do that. So this thing can be manipulated, right? We can say that maybe what the drug companies will do is they'll just charge everybody like an absorbent amount of money during this phase so that every single person reaches the $2,000 max out of $2,000 max out of pocket. But in my opinion, that's not terrible. It could be worse because $2,000 is a lot of money. It is by no stretch. It's a lot of money for people who are living on a fixed budget. But it's still better than what some people were paying for their medication, their life-saving medications, coming up to $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 a year for medications that they require to survive. This way, you'll be capped out at somewhere around $200 a month, I would assume, for all your medication and the drug plan premium. Currently, the national average for Part D, I believe, is about $34 a month. So that's how much the Medicare Part D administration has set as their national average for Part D. So if we take that $34, we spread it across 12 months, it's $30 a month, it's about $400. Let's say $400. Then the $2,000 cap max out of pocket we're going to have in 2025, $2,400. That, if you break that up in 12 months, is $200 a month. And in 2025, when they implement the max out of pocket kind of ruling, you'll be able to go on a payment plan where if you are going to hit the max out of pocket, they will allow you to actually spread your medication cost over those 12 months and thus paying like $200 a month. So it's going to be at least more stable and predictable. Affordable, well, may not be that affordable if you can't afford the $200 a month. But for many, many Americans, it's going to negate that fear of not being able to afford medications, or at least not knowing that you'll be able to afford these medications. $200 is still a lot of money, but it's far less than $10,000, which some people would have to pay if they had to go on hepatitis C medication or cancer medication. And what a lot of Part D insurance companies would do is they would only cover the brand name version of that expensive medication. So even if there's a generic equivalent, they would make their members purchase the really expensive brand one because that's the only one that was covered. So, I mean, just to put things into perspective, you as the enrollee, as the Medicare beneficiary, will not be drained for money because this is all you can literally pay. If you were to not use this system, then the insurance company and the pharmaceutical company could not use these kind of government fixed negotiated price or non-negotiated prices to gouge you for money. You would be able to go on the cash buying side, which I will tell you, if you can purchase your medical services without using insurance, many times you can negotiate a far better rate than with the insurance company, or what the insurance company pays for said service. So always keep those things kind of in mind when you're doing this. And again, as this program, as this structure becomes implemented, we will have more problems arise, things will happen. For all those updates, all those problems that happen, be sure to stick here, stay on the channel. I'll do the research, I'll figure out what we need to do, come up with a game plan so you guys can make the most of your Medicare and understand your Medicare. You guys have a great rest of the day. I feel like today was a great day for me, for Medicare, and I hope you guys learned something. You guys do good things. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.